Hey, I'm new to this hydraulic leveling stuff in an RV. I'm struggling a little bit here with my first time towing and want to just know some more about it. You know what? I think I'll call the A-team.
Hey Bill, how can I help you?
So Jim, I just got to the campsite and I'm trying to get my fifth wheel off my truck. I keep hitting the down arrow to lower the front jacks, but just one leg keeps coming down.
Well, Bill, that's actually normal operation for the hydraulic system. They operate sequentially. One leg will drop, it will ground, and then the other front leg will drop and ground, and then we'll lift it off your truck. So that's actually normal operation. Just continue on pressing that down button.
Well, thanks for the help. So now I've unhooked my truck and I've moved it clear of the vehicle here because, as you told me, before you ever try an auto level, make sure your tow vehicle is clear of the fifth wheel.
Absolutely. It's important to get it out of the way because the front will be going down in part of the auto level sequence, and we don't want it to hit your truck.
So that's a great point, Jim. So when I took it off of my truck, I'm not supposed to lower it or anything before I try an auto level, am I?
That's right. You want to start the auto level process with the nose above level. So nose high is where you want it to be before you hit auto level on the controller.
And so correct me if I'm wrong, but so then once you do that, it starts nose high. First thing it does is it will dip down in front.
Yes, sir.
And then it kind of goes in a cycle around to the different leveling jacks. They got groups, about 3 groups. So it'll go around and just slowly level it to where it needs to be, correct?
That's correct. It will drop down first. It will come up, find its happy level spot, and then it will start leveling left and right. So it's going to level front to back first and then left to right.
So now I have an understanding of basically how it works. So now how do I auto level?
This is super easy, Bill. First thing you want to do is come into the panel and turn it on. And then after that, just as simple as hitting the auto level button, and that will start the process.
Do I need to do anything else, or do I just stand clear?
You stand clear and let it do its thing. One thing to make sure is don't have your stairs down when you do an auto level, ever, because your stairs could damage your door if it's going up and down.
Oh, that's a great tip. Make sure your stairs are tucked up in that doorway.
Absolutely.
The auto level's now finished, but I don't exactly like how level it feels to me. What can we do about that, Jim?
The 0 point is basically where the system is going to try to achieve every time you re-auto level it in the future. And if you want it to be different than what it is now, it's super easy. All you're going to come do is press the front button 7 times and the rear button 7 times, and that will bring you into a calibration mode. At that point, you're going to be able to manipulate your jacks independently and put it where you want it. And then all you got to do is hit enter, and that will save that setting, and it will try to achieve that every time you hit auto level in the future.
Oh, wow. That's really simple.
Super easy. Bill, I've got one for you. Situation that people come to us a lot for is, I want to manually level my coach. It could be for various reasons. It's super easy to do. Anybody can do it. It will not mess with your programming, but it's something that everybody should know how to do. Can I show you?
Hey, absolutely, Jim. I'd love to learn how to manually level.
Press the power. Gets you running. Arrow down until you see manual level. Enter to begin. Super easy. Enter. Now you have full control of the up and down of the front and the left and the right circuits of this. So if you want to go down, you want to retract your front jacks. Coach goes down. You want to lift it up. Take it off of retract. Lift up the front of the coach.
So let me ask, Jim, that seems really simple. Do I have to worry if I'm going to raise or lower the front about the 4 jacks in back being down?
One important note on this, Bill, is that if you are going to manually move your coach up and down in the front, you want to make sure your middle and rear legs are up off the ground before you raise and lower the front of it, because you don't want to put them into a situation where they could get damaged.
Oh, that makes sense. Get rid of some undue stress there.
Indeed.
So we've explored kind of how the system works, but for the future, what could I run into? What are some tips and tricks that you can teach me?
Absolutely. One of the things that we see the most of is actually a low voltage situation where there's nothing really wrong with the leveling system, but it will error out and it'll say low voltage, and it will not allow you to level because it'll turn the pad off. So the big takeaway from this is make sure that your batteries are fully charged. Even if you're plugged into shore power, if you've driven a long ways and you had your refrigerator running, it may have depleted the batteries to the point that they don't have enough power to operate the system effectively. At that point in time, you'll have to wait for your system to charge back up, or you could certainly augment it with a jump pack in order to provide more power to the system. But low voltage is a super common thing that people run into and mistake it for a leveling system problem when they actually have a voltage problem.
So now, the other day I was doing it, and it made a ratcheting sound as I was putting the legs up. What would cause that?
Yeah, that actually dovetails perfectly into the low voltage situation. Even if you don't get a low voltage error code on here, if you're hearing a ratcheting sound, as people often describe it as, there's not enough power being supplied to the pump, and you're in a situation where the mini breaker that the pump is drawing through is opening and closing. It's not uncommon that you have a low voltage scenario there. Again, charge your batteries up, and that should go away.
I was setting up the coach the other day on a pretty a sloped site, Jim, and one thing I kept getting was an out of stroke or an excessive angle error. Can you tell me what to do in that case? Because the system locked me out and wouldn't let me do anything.
Absolutely. So the system absolutely has limitations. There's certain levels that it can deal with, but there are certain limits that it can't deal with in the auto level manner. It'll lock it out as a safety precaution for you in leveling it. You can override the system and able to operate it by, again, going to that 0-point calibration mode that we discussed previously. Once you get into that mode, then you're going to be able to operate your jacks, specifically the corners that you want, the jacks that you want, and get yourself back to a situation where you can operate it again automatically. You may choose to move your rig to a slightly different situation, a different location on that site, so that the auto level could function.
Okay, so simply put, all I have to do is, with the panel in the off position, I need to hit the front button 7 times, the rear button 7 times, the panel lights up, and then it'll unlock the system for me, right?
Yep, it'll bypass the safety protocols of the auto level system and allow you to operate the jacks manually.
Perfect. Well, I think we've given you the level on auto leveling, so that's it for me. Thanks, Jim.
My pleasure. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at service@alliancerv.com. Another great resource is Facebook or any other of the social media platforms at Alliance RV.